industry, and we have sales activities in Europe and North America. And our idea was basically to fill the gap in the enterprise blockchain market between the two possibilities that there are for any company at the moment. These possibilities, they contemplate for business teams, basically the effort to get to know the technology and the values it introduces in the business. And instead, on the other side, on the side of development teams, those who are actually in charge of making applications, there is a problem, because actually blockchain technology doesn't solve any specific problem, but in reality, it helps to solve zillions of problems once one has understood the basic values behind the technology. And I won't repeat the basic values because I'm sure that you have understood them, but I will just summarize them in 3 words, which are basically absolute privacy, total transparency, and advanced automation. So given on that, our mission is to build trust between your company and your customers or suppliers through blockchain technology. And our vision is to become the operative systems of blockchains. I would here underline that we are not a blockchain, but we do integrate and work with any blockchain or any technology, as an example, IoT and artificial intelligence. I would therefore skip all this information, and I will just go straight into 2 use cases which in mining industry can be of help. Naturally, I have here to introduce to you our business model, which is blockchain as a service. This means that companies do not need to develop applications on their own, or to look for somebody who will develop their decentralized applications. But by combining the different modules we have created, one can set up its own technology according to its own needs. In particular, the main challenges in the mining industry, according to Deloitte, are the following one. And I think for you working in this environment, it is very important to know of these threats and to face them. In this presentation, we will give you some hints and some ideas, and we hope some tools to actually overcome these challenges. So the first case or the second case, does need that we are aware of the ecosystem in which we are moving ourselves. It might be not your ecosystem today, but this is at least how it will look like, or it would look like in an intelligent ecosystem. As you can see, there are a lot of challenges. It is not just a one-case solution here. You realize that we are in front of an ecosystem with different operations, with different machines involved, and with different identities involved. Therefore, there are some problems which are known to the market, and it has to do with authorizations and certifications. We have, of course, some solutions to this, but let's just go into what it is we do for the mining industry. We have created technology which manages and certifies in an effective, safe, and sustainable way the automation of things and people, objects. What does the mining industry to do then with our technology? I would reply to this question with basically the answer, which is certifying and authenticating identities. With Chainplug technology, we would like the mining industry to uniquely identify and authenticate identities of different nature. Furthermore, we would like to securely and transparently certify and automate data, also in identity-linked workflows with other identities and technologies. Somebody was referring before to IoT and artificial intelligence. Those can be easily integrated within our technology. Of course, we have to think about the different nature of identities in mining industry. They are of three types: economic, societal, and environmental, and each of them bears its own identity. So how do we certify and authenticate identities? Well, by providing our technology, we offer an immutable certification and authentication of identities. Of course, the problem stems from different sides. Most of them have to do, for example, speaking about IoT, with the copycats made by Asian producers. But the counterfeiting of identities, in reality, it's a very expensive business, because it's the case of the cost of litigation and legal costs. And I think you and your companies might have experienced such a problem. And of course, why to do that? The end objective of all our technology is building trust, or in this case, mining trust. So how do we do this? Well, we use a request management process, and all the steps are recorded and certified in a digital certificate, which is unique and immutable. And for doing this, we leverage the public blockchain network, Ethereum. You have to know that any blockchain has its own characteristics, and some blockchain frameworks might be bounded more for application, for example, in the fintech world, rather than, in other worlds, let's say the mining industry. At the same time, once we have certified and identities, we need to certify and automate data. And we do this via another technology we have, and this happens through the sealing and automation of the data generated in mining ecosystem. Of course, also this is a very important problem in the mining, but let's say in the more general construction world. The case, for example, of the Morandi Bridge in Genoa, Italy, collapsing 2 years ago. In this moment, there is a trial going on, and it's been revealed that actually the data which were gathered by the sensors were never checked, because there were some structures around them which made not possible for human beings to crawl up there, enter this particular construction, and then check the measures of the sensors. Therefore, data have been tampered, the bridge has collapsed, and more than 40 people have died. Therefore, which kind of data one might want to seal? Of course, the data of interest, which are either produced or gathered or related to the ecosystem, such as identity, position, time, events, and more. So what kind of information then the mining industry needs to put into our technology in order to use it? Well, for the identity certification and authentication, of course, we need to enter onto our technology data like IDs, serial numbers, or any other code which is associated with the different identities. I just recall that we have 3 different nature of identities in the mining industry. And of course, they all need to be certified, as well as their data and the automation of their data. For certifying mining industry data authenticity and automate the data, basically all the IoT or all the people need to be able to send outbound messages, of course, to Chainplug platform. Otherwise, nothing will happen. Moving on to the third and last question, which you might have thought, how will the mining industry function with Chainplug technology? Well, basically, let's say here there is, sorry for putting a drone, I really didn't find another more suitable icon for the mining industry, but let's say that this is your supplier, which is providing you a certain IoT, and then you request the drone to the company. The drone has been built by the company, which creates a certificate. This certificate is pushed into Chainplug backend and then published on the blockchain. Of course, this certification by the producer is made not only for counterfeiting purposes, but it's also made for those problems related to the wrong functioning of the IoT. Via our technology, it is possible also to monitor, for example, IoT and automate their data. So that in the end, for example, in this case of authentication of an IoT or a machine, when the certificate has been published, then the producer can ship drone to you, for example, and there you have all the service level agreement, as an example, already embedded in the smart contract. And this is how we do it for the identity authenticity process. Speaking about data authenticity and automation, we have also here, you can think of any machine which is connected to the internet, any IoT. This machine sends data to our backend, in which there is a smart contract which has a certain logic, and these are absolutely some examples related to the drone I presented before, and then these data are published on the blockchain. So furthermore, if you have questions, please write them or ask them in the Q&A answer. I will be happy to answer